Hello everyone, Scott here, and today I have another video for you all. So today I want to talk about Marathon of all games, because I think this game has gotten a lot of undeserved hate recently, or well, about maybe a month ago or something like that when it came out. So I'm here today to basically give the game a plus rep from my perspective, because I think the game is getting a lot of undeserved hate. I think a lot of people have just shit on the game for no apparent reason at all. And I wish more people would kind of look into more of the things that goes into this game instead of just saying that it looks like shit, right? So I think the game is getting a lot of undeserved hate. And I basically, when it came out, I bought it. You could probably argue that it's probably a stupid thing instead of just playing under that. They had a weekend where you could play it for free, and basically I didn't do that, so I bought the game and I tried it out. But I don't understand why people are hating the game, because when I bought it and I tried it out, it was like, oh, okay, there's a lot of people who just shit on the game, but it doesn't feel that bad, in my opinion. It doesn't feel like shit that the people are saying, so I didn't understand it at first. But I'll get more into all of the stuff later on. I also want to quickly mention that I have not played the game for long. I've played it for 25 hours approximately from making this video, so I'm kind of new to the game still, so just bear that in mind as well. So first of all, just a quick explanation of what Marathon is if you don't understand what the game is about. You've probably heard about it by now, but if you haven't heard about the game is a PvPvE game, and it's an extraction shooter. So the point of this is you start off with nothing and you can grab a free kit if you want that, or you can just go in like with nothing on you. You grab everything you can in the match, and if you extract successfully, you get to keep everything you've looted. And if you die, then you obviously lose everything you have on you. So imagine you have a sniper and it's a blue sniper, and then you basically you take it in with you, and if you die, then you lose it. So that's the whole point of this game. So to get better and better gear, and sometimes you die, and sometimes you basically lose everything, and you have to take some steps back, basically. Imagine you go on a board, like with all of the squares on the board has like 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Sometimes you go a bit of steps back, and you'll just start from there instead, right? So that is essentially what the game is about. And I want to also talk about some of the things here about the game. So I really love the gunplay of the game. I really love all of the guns. There's so many different guns you can play with. And well, from a newbie's perspective, it is kind of intimidating that there's so many different guns in the game, but I wouldn't argue that it's like a big amount, because there's so many other games where you have a lot of different guns, and if you just stick to maybe 4 of them or something like that, it'll be probably easier for you to digest, right? But I think the gunplay of the game is so good, and it is quite satisfying. One thing that I don't like, but that's just me, I think, on a long distance, and I will also talk about it a bit later here, it is something to do with the graphics as well, because on longer distances it is quite like I have a difficulty seeing enemies on longer distances. I probably have to tweak some settings or something like that, or maybe I should just get myself a new pair of eyes, right? So I think the whole watching enemies on distances can be quite difficult in my opinion. But if you go up like into a building and you then fight enemies in buildings, right? And it doesn't matter if it's the robots you can fight, the UESC, or if it's another player, it is quite satisfying to play and to shoot the other enemies in the game, right? So I like the gunplay. It is quite satisfying. And another thing that in the beginning, what I mentioned before, the graphics. So in the beginning, when I played Marathon, I almost got a headache, I think, and it was quite difficult to play the game and understand everything. Like, I couldn't, in the beginning, what is a wall, what is a box, and some people would probably say, it's so easy, right? But in the beginning, I think the graphics didn't make any sense to me. It was so difficult in the beginning to understand what is what and what is going on the screen, essentially, right? But yeah, once you get over the, I would say, 8 hour mark, everything makes way more sense to you when it comes to the graphics. And you kind of also get an understanding of what they want to go, like which direction they want to go with the art in the game. And I think it's so cool actually to see another game basically try something new instead of having the usual grass and maybe some sand or whatever, right? In other games. So I like the art style, but I will say that in the beginning, and especially when I started playing the game, it was really difficult to understand what was going on the screen. So, and that is obviously a problem when it comes to new players. And I also want to talk about that a bit later on here today, about the player numbers, but we'll get to it. We'll get to it. And another thing, just to mention it as well, I really love the whole sharing contracts. So in other games, you would just play with, like, you have a bit of, like, you have some missions you can play and or basically select, right? But in Marathon, you basically select a contract and you can only select one. However, the whole team shares all of the contracts you have basically put on, right? So you have essentially, the game will pick one as the main quest you could do, and the other two would be like some extras you could do, right? And I kind of like this system as well, because it's, if you have some issues with one mission, you basically, the game kind of like puts you together and wants you to complete that one quest. So that might be one of the quests you have some troubles with, right? So I kind of like this system. I've never seen it in another game before, but I love it. I love it in Marathon here. And yeah, let's move on to the big elephant in the room, as a lot of people have talked about when it comes to Marathon, the player numbers. And they're abysmal. Let me just say that. They are so low. I have it on my second monitor here as well. 7,813 right now. And it is currently Monday in the evening. So I obviously know that there's not going to be that many people on in the weekdays, obviously, right? And you get home from work and you have like all kinds of stuff to do, and you're probably tired as well, right? So it makes a lot of sense that, yeah, you basically don't have time to play, and the player numbers are probably lower. But the 24-hour peak from, basically, it will also cover Sunday as well here, but that is 18,000, and it's not bad when you think about it. However, we should also take in account that the game also has cost a lot of money to produce, and the player numbers are abysmal when it comes to like how much money they've put into it. And yeah, like when you compare the player numbers with the amount of money spent to make the game, it is not that good. And there's other games like Arc Raiders who still has like a lot of players. I think Arc Raiders, just from the top of my head, I think it was like around 90k or something like that they still retain, right? So that is that's a big number of players essentially, right? And yeah, it doesn't look like Marathon is that well off, and it doesn't look like they get newer players. It looks like, when I look at the graph, that the player numbers have slowed a bit, like the bleeding of players have slowed a bit. But when you look at the player numbers, it's not that good. And for a live service game, and that's the whole point that some people also don't factor in, that the game is a live service. If the game was a single player game, then it didn't matter at all, right? But since it's a multiplayer game and it's a live service, then players are really, really important to have in the game. So yeah, I think that's quite bad, and I hope the game will get some more players. I don't know exactly what they should do to fix the player numbers. Some have argued maybe make the start of the game easier for the newcomers, or maybe do like some other maps where it's easier to get loot. And some have also said something about PvE only, and I'm not quite sure about all of these things. I don't know, to be honest, where they should go with Marathon. I think the game is not fantastic, but I think it's a good game, and I think it deserves a couple of hours of playtime. And yeah, well, the game is of course difficult, and that is also a thing that a lot of people don't like about the game, and I can also see that. And as I mentioned before, like with the graphics and the whole extraction shooter, it is hardcore. to get into, a hardcore audience that will be captured by this game. And it is a difficult game, and especially if you're a PvE player like me and you really love PvE games where you just can chill and do whatever you want, right, in your own pace, then this game is quite difficult. And yeah, it will frustrate you if you have a hard time also getting shot a lot and destroyed a lot of the times, right? I probably have a lower KD, but I enjoy my time with Marathon. I don't, as I mentioned before, I don't think the game is fantastic, but I still think the game is it's okay. I would say it's a decent game. So yeah, but I don't know, man. What do you all think about Marathon? Do you think the game is good? Have you tried it? If you haven't tried it, do you want to play it? Let me know down in the comments below. I would love to hear your opinion on this. So yeah, that is all for me now. So don't forget to leave a like, ring the bell for notifications, and don't forget to subscribe for more content. I'm Scott, and I'm out. See you all in the next video. Bye everyone.